to give you my feedback about three points. How we are organizing and what it is the job we are doing in France to build networks, and then two, what I call good practice, one in the cable deployment and one in service sale. First, I am from the Action company. Action in France, we are organized with different, with some special concept that all county or department, either region, could ask a private company to delegate the telecom competence. And Action is one of those companies with, I would say on the edge, with the partner of department, either or county, either region of France. In France, we are partner of 15 companies, of 15 territories, who could be either a city or a group of cities, either a department, either a region. And we have already built 8,000 kilometers of fiber over those 15 departments. And we have $155 million company in terms of business. It is the business from Action and from the subsidiary we have in each county. We are the partner, of course, of Netherlands, who is leading this engaged program. What else to say? What I want to... okay. What we do, there is 3 activities when we talk about building networks. There is for me 3 main activities. An activity of deployment, maintenance, an activity of operator to operator to, and an activity of telecom concession. That's the French topic. For maintenance, we deploy and build fixed and mobile networks, because when you are on the field, as it was explained yesterday, first of all, it is to know and really well know the territory. Where are white spot, where are city, is it a rural area, is it a mountain, is it a flat area? And also, we had out of the telecom geo or telecom database, we also place marketing data layer and also, I would say, a network layer. Because in France, it's really easy to say, okay, I will build a new network, but we could not build at 12 euros per meter. Sorry. I don't know how you can reach such price. And that's the reason why we decided to pull and to use other infrastructure. We also built the data center sites, either for coal, either for equipment. And there is something else in France. It's the aim is to reach the FTTH network, to have FTTH to 100% of the French people. But to reach this objective, and this is the objective of the government, we are making the job in different steps. And first step is to get 2 megabytes to 100% of the people with the DSL technology. And when I say it is DSL with, for the rural area, WiMAX technology. That's what we use. LTE could be also an option, but we really few FUD deployment of that technology. And the idea is to use any of the connection fiber optic cable we deploy today, we build today, for the next FTTH collecting network. In between each loop of people, what we build today, and it is really important that the money you place today in a network could be used for the future. Either you lose your money. And that's why all the part we have at first, that means study, design, and so on, it's the more important. We should really know what we want to make, what we will make, and how to make it. And then it's easy to build, it's easy to maintain, it's easy to operate. And it's really a long time and a great part of the investment. And it's absolute. When we design the network to operate, we operate different networks, all the layer of the network. And yes, there is something different also in France. I do not tell that to you. We are not provider of access network. We are provider for the provider of the access network. That means that people in France do not know that. They know the provider access, who are using the network we are operating. Telecom concession, it is I would say, the society and the purpose of the society we build as a partnership with the county. It's to be a partnership and to help the county to aim their objectives, and also to be the vehicles for the investment, because as you heard a little this morning, money is a key point for the networks. And to get that money, it is important, and with such kind of society, we can go for bank, to have fund with bank, with fund, with government or local authorities and so on, and to have a vehicle for the finance. It is important to, I'm sorry, everything is not really structured, because the deployment of a network is a really efficient amount of money left on the table first. It's a capital investment which is really important. With those vehicles, what we work on and what we made is to transfer the capital investment to support, like us, like we support only an OPEX, operating expense. Because some bank and fund raise the money and we just have an OPEX. And it's much easier because on the telecom, when you have a real huge investment, you have a return on investment with what we call the G curve for the 6-7 first years. You are under zero, and you are just looking where it crosses zero again, and then the bank is okay. That's the bank zero. And okay, just for that reason, it's really important to avoid this too deep G curve, to have an OPEX to the CAPEX transfer. Okay, so as I tried to explain, we are a global operator, design, construction of building, operating, exploitation is not the right name, it's operating and maintenance. What I can say. Yes, we're working on 4 processes. First is conception and support to implementation. It's where we have the more stuff. And Then, when you really well prepare the job, you can build up, make the work. And another work which is important is the AMO. It's I don't know the English. Well, it's the part where we say what are what is in the contract? Should I fit with the contract? Are all the topic of the contracts okay on field? When I make a contract with Netherlands, I say, okay, I will cover 95% of the people, I will do so. All the engagement we have through a contract, we should be sure they are implemented on field. And that's one good point to say, okay, we have done all the engagement, either if something is not doable or if we want to change, it's a matter of discussion. This is installation and I forget the name. Implementation of the equipment when we all the I would say the active part of the equipment when we I forget the name. It's installation. This is the action to place the equipment ready for use to operate the equipment. Yes. And then all maintenance, maintenance with on two levels, either preventive to prevent any faults, and then to repair any of the parts. It's an important job, as you said. What to do with ducts that city placed in the ground and nobody know and what they will be in the future. And it's typically what we do with that maintenance. Right now, it was not in the transition, but with one department, I am finalizing right now a contract. Any of this, and the contract is any of the community who make works will place a duct, at least, or two or three. Any time. And I take the engagement to rent the duct. When the duct is free, it's 1 centime of euro per meter. That's nothing, but I should get an maintenance of the duct. So I give the community the capacity to have a useful duct. The duct can be used in the future. If it's break, I should repair. And when I place a cable, I give a little more money. So it's and like that, and I have the map, and at the beginning of the year, they give us all the place where they plan to have work. And it's something to have a map, and in the future, we will reuse that for the future.
Which kind of ducts do you use?
Any. Mainly more, I would say, I would like to use PEHD ducts, lubricated, because it's easier, the strongest with rocks and so on. When municipality put PVC ducts, okay, I take it. Any other duct, I take it. There is techniques to draw cable and to lay cable in ducts who are easy, quite cheap, but not as cheap as in Finland, but and we can install. I take everything. No, yes.
In Germany, it's a big discussion which kind of ducts. Yeah? There are so many different.
Okay. In France, we have not so many different, but in France, when it's not a suitable duct, I would say a PVC duct with not straight, but is like that. We put what we call a socks inside, the cable in the socks, and that's it. And that's the purpose we do. Here, our 5 processes are articulated with around 8 major activities with a wheel, and each time the performance of the project need to succeed in all those qualities. That means from commitment, project management, quality of the conception. When I place quality, I first place quality of the job we've done on field. But what is the quality of your conception? And this is for me a major point, and it's difficult to measure before to finish the work. It's difficult to measure how the quality of the conception is made up. And this is a strong point. Planning cost, of course, how to get the best cost. It's not the cheapest, but the best cost. I place human resources also. It's for us a key point because the project should be, the project leader should be in front of the project and should pull. It is not the project who push the project leader. So your project leader, the guy who are working on the project, it's really important to have the good guy at the right guy at the right place. That's and then communication. What are the link of communication in between the different parts, either for the county, either for the people who are working and making the business. This is to do what, to explain what we do is important too. Purchasement and respect, engagement respect. Of course, it is also something as we talked about. Also, this is just to say that we should, no, there is two things. We should be innovative because, as I said 5 minutes ago, with the telecom, if you just remember, 10 years ago it was 50K, today it's 2 mega, tomorrow it's 100 mega, and it's over a few days. If you do not want to lose your money, the money you place in the network should be used for the next step. And that means we should be innovative, and also because we start, as I often say, 1 year ago we were playing football. At the halftime we gave us a rugby ball, and the next half it will be in the swimming pool. Okay, and this is exactly the telecom rules today, and the way we are working together. And we should be innovative to get new thinking and new matter to think about telecom. And also, and it is the second part, to be an actor and to be innovative with the government and with the ARCEP is the French Telecom Regulation Authority. With the guy to be sure that the new way of thinking, new ideas and so on, we can move the regulation, we can influence the regulation in order to get something who fits between the objective of the government with FTTH for everybody. FTTH in France is 100 megabytes per user, and the regulation should fit to be sure that everybody is able to do it and to have it. Okay. Two good practice. Okay, I will try to describe what we have done with electrical, medium, and low power cables. We have such an architecture with electrical power cable. That means it's a curve, and we can use as a telecom fiber optic network, buried cable, aerial cable, underwater cable. When I say underwater, we place cable in the river, we place cable to cross Paris, no possibility to go into big holes and so on. And we placed some hundreds of cables in the river. Okay, and from Paris to the north it's the same, with all the maintenance to manage. Okay. When we look at the structure of the telecom network as called, and the electrical network in France was secure, it's okay. Why not to use the same infrastructure? That's why we go to that. We have to first deal with EDF. EDF is a French electricity supplier, and also with the DIECT, with the government regulations, because they said no, this is the electrical pole for electrical purpose. You have network for telecom, it is for telecom and not for electricity. So we have first to deal with the DIECT and with EDF to be sure that it's doable and everyone, electricity pole will be for sure and will keep the electricity priority. If a pole falls down, electricity will stand up first, and then the fiber optic cable will come after, and so on. And and to try to manage that. It was about 86, 2 years after EDF accept and give us some, I would say, some recommendation and a kind of rule of practice. And we finally, with the National Federation of all the electrical networks, we've analyzed a contract and an authorization to use the networks. The reason of such deployment is the speed to deploy, because with a team of 2 people, because it's how we measure, I measure, there is always more than 2 people in the field. By 2 people, we can deploy about 1 kilometer per day. Low pollution. When I say low pollution, I can show you the green gas. Balance is really favorable, and it's important. It's one of the key points. Capillarity of networks. Electricity goes to every house in France. When I say every, some exception. More homogeneous networks, and also consistency of the burial program. Each time there is a burial program, electricity will make a hole on the street, and 2 months later it will be telecom who do same, and the water and the gas, and it's amazing. So, and to do so, we also influence, because it was something strange in France. It was okay. The machine who makes the hole, like that, the crab, is 30 centimeter width. The regulation say when you have an electrical cable and a telecom cable, you should have 15 centimeter in between. And when I take the size of the electrical cable and the the telecom duct, it was no, it should be 20, and it was only 50. So I think what to do. We always should have special crab with extra cost and so on. So we move the specification with just adding a plastic layer in between, and that's it. So just by moving the regulation and by being I would say clever in the way of thinking and knowing the job, we can really decrease the cost.
How much does it cost to use the utility poles?
The pole,
Yeah.
75 euro per pole.
Per is like one-time cost.
It's a one-time cost.
75 euros.
And the 75 euros, it's a today, when I say 75, it's about 75, and it's 50 for EDF, in the distributor, and 25 for the owner with the region, the department. And it's a one-off. Okay, we talk about legal. Okay. Okay, what this is the legal, and I explain you what we do. For the technical deployment, okay, we have to check how to make the deployment. There is some rules, safety rule, and we decide to place the electrical cable underneath the fiber optic cable is underneath the electrical cable. Yes, because it's more dangerous to go over the cable, the electrical. So we are 1 meter below the electrical cable.
How deep you are?
Sorry?
How deep is the dish you need for the electrical cable and the...
Deep. No, it is on the pole. We are 1 meter. How deep? No. This is for IRR deployment. Deep for electrical level, when we are in deepness, it's in France, it is 8. When we are in common trench, it's 80 centimeters for the street and 1 meter and 10 in the buried cable, in the rural. And when you just place telecom cable, we have a small technique with a low deep trench with concrete with 30 centimeters and concrete on it. And we place color concrete to avoid information tiger. When you find a red concrete or a green concrete, you say, oh, there is something. And we find, so when we decide where to go, we found over the market, over the different suppliers, we found all components in order to build what we need. So, first, we have the design and study, and it is the more important in such deployment. Design study is with EDF or with the pole owner. We have first a survey. We go to see each pole and decide if the pole is suitable or not, if we have to change or not. That allows us to make a profile. This is the soil and the pole and the ice of the cable on the pole, where the pole and so on. Calculation, all the calculation, each pole is recalculated to know if it fits with the new regulation and so on. So, and then there is something like that with exactly for each pole, where it is, where to place the cable, what type, and so on. It's important, this part is important for two things. First, because we are sure what to do after, and the work will be much easier. The guy will feel exactly know what I have to do. And it's important too because it's a common job with EDF, with the operator of the network. And sometimes it discovers that not all those pictures, I give you just good pictures. Sometimes the poles are like that. Sometimes there is trees in the cables and so on, or poles who could be managed. And at that time there is two questions. Either EDF say, okay, this pole is broken, I should replace it, and it's my job. And he make his job, and we make a common job to replacement. Either, where it's not possible, what we do, or what I do, is that I place another pole. EDF do not want to change the pole, the calculation say, the pole could not support an additional cable. So I add a wooden pole, 3 meters from the line, and I place the optical cable just on the pole. And this pole is, because all this, as you can see, it is over the land, because that's a major thing to, and I forget to tell that actually, with the electrical pole, electrical network. It goes straight across the country, the shortest way. And all but you are not on the public domain. You are on the private domain. You are with private people. And you should have also, and that's the reason of that topic, I forget it, it's all reference here, the reference of the parcel, and with that reference you have the name of the owner. And you should say equivalently, I will cross your field, I will cross your wood, and so on. And it's, when you have to change a pole, you are in the middle of nowhere. So it's difficult that allows us to place the pole, the additional pole, just on the edge of a private to public area. And like that, you can access, and it is on those poles. We have your fiber optic splicer box and so on, and you can access easily from the road, either from a road or a small road. Then deployment, what we did, okay, some other picture. What we place here a ring belt on the top, 1 meter, because there is a matter of security when you place a pole. You should be sure that the guy who are working on the pole never touch, and the tool they use never touch a tool or bell, and never touch the cable. So first we have a ring. First thing to do, it's the chief of the team will place a red belt, and it's a stop, like a stop on a road. You should not go over. And then there is also, this is in, it's with holes, and it's something to avoid a tool would jump and get up. And then what I do, and I show you this picture, it is people who are laying the cable here. We do not do that. We have 2 techniques to lay the cable. Either you take people, and it is people from the local area. They are happy to work. You give work, and they go and they work all day long with cable. They are really happy, and it's a local work. It's green gas positive. And when you are with the illness, it's red long, and then we use the helicopter. So we pull the cable with the helicopter. Okay, I can talk about that later. So the matter is to take the cable, to place the cable, to lie the cable, place it on the wheel first, trenching, use tension, and then clamp it. You have it here. The cable here first, then you have this, and this wheel is one or two meters under the red line in order to be sure that the balance of the cable do not touch the top. And then the guy goes. To be sure the guy do not overlay the red line. We know that the cable are placed at 7, 8 or 9 meters high. So on the scale, we've placed on the pole because it's not mechanical. You see the guy is on the scale. The scale is in wood, and there is 3 belts on the scale. Red, yellow, blue. Blue, 7 meters. I should hang the belt. And I could not open the scale more than the good height. Okay, and then the stretching, adjustment, and so on. So this is, okay, you can see. Then after, here is the fiber optic cable. You do not see it, and the two are still safe and quiet. So that's what we do, and we develop some hundreds of kilometers with that techniques, and it after 3 years, neither for the maintenance we do not have any problems. We do not find any problem, any extra cost, anything like that. The problem with it is a problem with EDF who say, hey, now we put the electrical line underneath, so you should pay. Okay, but we try to manage, and now we are developing, and we'll talk later, it's not made, a new accessory, a new device in order to avoid the new calculation of the pole. It's just a device when it's a kind of fuse. We will fix the cable with a fuse. And every time there is too much tension, like it will fall down.
Thierry, which percentage of the network can be area?
Sorry?
Which percentage of the network at the moment can be area with the solution? Which percentage of the network, percentage
Of the network?
is aerial at the moment?
We have about 500.
Just a rough figure.
500 kilometers over 8,000. But we just start, and now we do more and more. We could not say, in some region, we could not do because we could not find the arrangement with EDF and the local authority and so on, and they don't want. I see in the Finistère, it is the most west part of the France, we are more than 50% with the area, and it is the place where there is the sea, so the wind and so on, really windy area, and we are more than 50%. I want to use this technology in the Pyrenees, that is in the south of France, in between close to the border between Spain, France and Spain, where it's mountain, hills, and it was really, really difficult. At first I planned to have 20% with aerial, and we just made 5%. Too difficult to deploy.
Yeah, this is a really good idea, but for example in Finland we have had really bad storms in the past few years, and now the government is forcing all the electric companies to move their aerial cables underneath the ground, especially when you're talking about access networks. Because, for example, last Christmas, after the Christmas, we had really bad snowstorm all around Finland, and there were a lot of people without electricity for days and weeks. So the state is really now forcing the electric companies to move their aerial cables.
We have the same plan in France, and something is that when the electrical line should be buried, it is with government funds, and then they place both cables at the same time. So once again, you put the infrastructure. That's but in France we had two storms, one in 2001 and one 2 years ago, and using for all cable over the pole, we do not have any problems, and even many poles fall down and so on, and people have no electricity and so on. So yes, it is one question, and we depends on the government, I would say. But I will understand.
How you realize the last mile from the poles? You have to go into the houses from these.
From the pole we go with buried cable.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there is after the mid. This is pole of medium voltage. Then there is low voltage, and it is also on pole. And we also can go with low voltage up to the house and on the face of the houses. And on the houses we build the cable. We also fix the gap outside of the house. If it's like that, either on the pole, either on the deck, when the deck is available. And, it's something with, for us really important because we are really high cost. We are really high cost in terms of buried cable or buried duct or buried. We should use infrastructure with etc. Such a techniques, depending on the number of holes in chain, is about 15 euro per head. Really important, from the first study up to the cable. And it's shorter in terms of length of cable than to use the rope. Okay. Another, yes. If you take the green gas balance, just this is I take two. I get anything in the network for the calculation. I do not make the calculation. We have one person who makes those type of calculation, except for the active. Equipment, because I consider whatever the cable is, we always have the same active equipment. The terminals is the same. We consider this is the green gas consumption of infrastructure equipment maintenance. If you take aerial cable and by people and so on, you save 50% green gas. And the rich is where you have 10% and 9%. Deviation of emission greenhouse and passive equipment, it becomes 19 and 80%. That means that depending on the type of the infrastructure you use, the focus on the end-of-life equipment, the value of the green gas of the end-of-life equipment is really different because it passes from here green, here it is 1%, here it's 2%. You have a double and the equipment is the same. You double it, it's much more important than at the beginning. Another, yes. Another kind of pooling of telecommunication networks is due with France Telecom regulation. Once again, up to now, it was France Telecom is a French telecommunication historical operator, like Deutsche Telekom, and up to now, that the network of France Telecom has been built since years and years with public funds because it was a public company. Right now it's no more a public company, but still semi-public, I would say. And the rules with the action we have with the government, the authority, the ARCEP. The government forced France Telecom to open its network. And that means, opening the network means that anyone could rent a duct to France Telecom and line his own cable, either renting fiber and so on. So, based on that, we changed our way of selling the network. Because as I say, the money you invest, I am a private company. And the money I invest in the network, I should have a return. And as soon as possible. That means I should have quickly some good sales. And to who could I sell the network? To sell FTTH today in France, the market is really poor because people have 2 megabytes. Few people want in the city and so on. Our company want to have more, but rural people say 2 mega is not good enough, but they are not ready to pay for 100. So we are in the balance. And what to do? And so we did the network, and after some years, we sell to the company. So to make money, we have either the DSL, okay, with the lead, either the business company sells. For big company, we make extra, I would say, connection, fiber optic connection, and they can pay for because it's big company and they need it and it's really a need, so they pay for and it's good. And when you talk the top company, what we are against that the number of companies who are connected to the fiber is really low. And here it's this is the ADSL in 91 February 2011 to 12, ADSL, SDSL, and fiber optics. So we have many companies with SDSL and ADSL, really few companies over optics. And we try to check why. And we have discovered that, it's not a discovery, but we make the concept that the company have 2 breaks. Connection cost is too high. Subscription is too high. So, and also it's necessary for a territory to have all the companies who are connected. Imagine you are architect. If you want to send a plan to do something, you should have, you are a small company, but you should have fiber optic networks for your job. So, for those two parts, we develop a concept of cell, which to mutualize and to is the fact that each one will give something different between the local authority, between the action and the company. For the connection cost, we create a fund. That means the local authority place money in a fund, and Action will echo the fund with also money. We place money depending on the value we have to invest. And for the subscription, with the service provider, because we place the service provider also in the game, we say to the service provider, you will have many services, but you should have your service underneath 1/3. Okay. You have 60% reduction on the service, something like that. But we are the provider, and we promise you that you will have 3 times, 4 times more people, company. And that means that creating a wholesale offer by Action was really low, and creating an offer by the provider was also really low. And to balance the number of connection with and that means so the model is to have a wholesale offer, retail offer, and a fund to make that. Connecting business conduct in the France Telecom duct, because a company are located in business zone, in area where there is many company, so there is ducts from France Telecom, and anytime we do not bury cable, but we reuse cable by line. And using that phone allows us to not to place cable at first, but just to place the right cable at the right time, and to have the right investment at the right time. And only investment when there is some business in front of the investment. That's the way to do it, because we can have an access to those. Okay, this is what I think. Free of service. I think it's more or less what we do. And just to finish with the previous slide, it's in March we placed that for that program we have 2 departments who already signed such a program. One with Charente-Maritime who placed 1 million euro for 2 years for connecting all companies lower than 50 people. And we place also actual 1 million because we consider it will be 300 company, and instead of 300 euro per subsidiary, we will just have one, and we do not put money, but we have a non-revenue investment. And it is the same amount if you decrease by 3 in France. We will have a non-revenue, and we expect to have more revenue by more company. And we have 2 also, and this and the Maine-et-Loire. And in Maine-et-Loire, we start the program in September. We have a communication September to December, and in March for the first 3 first months of the year, we have the historical higher number of order, and it's made with 90% with a small company. So we are really, with such a program, we really go over because we sell really more. So this is a pooling, and it is a 3 parts of the business we have. One time, pooling infrastructure and resources between the different territories, pooling infrastructure and pooling the thing. Having all the people doing something.